bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see.
Well, the question is, did we get tired after 3 months out on the road? Yeah, we did. Not because we didn't like it, not because it was just too long. We just weren't fully acclimated yet. Okay. I got a little tired, but more importantly, when it got to the end, we knew we were coming home. We could have kept going, we know that. But, you know, when you work for the man for 45 years, and now you're retired. Well, when you work for the man, you go away for 2 weeks. And if you're lucky, you do 3 weeks. And then you go back to work. So you plan out your whole schedule and you go do that, and then you go right back to work. So you're not gone that long. So in the 40 years that me and Pam have been married, we've never been away from home more than 2 or 3 weeks. So now we're retired and we had the opportunity to go away for a couple of months. We thought we'd try it. So we did a couple test trips, for a week here and there. Then we made the big trip. And at the end, I think we were a little tired, but we were more curious about getting back home to see if everything was okay. That was probably a bigger concern than being more tired. But after we got home, everything's okay. And then we know we had to do some upgrades to the camper to make it a little more easier for us, a little more convenient. So we're taking the time this winter to do that. So next year, we're still going. So next year, do I see a 3-month trip? No. Do I see 2 1-month trips cross country here, maybe to Illinois, South Dakota? Yeah, I do. Probably break it down into 2 trips is what our plan is, and then a whole bunch of shorter trips in between. Like go to the beach here in Southern California, go to the desert. We have a place out in 29 Palms in the desert here that we go ride our motorcycles and quads and things. So we'll probably go out there, and then we're close to the high Sierras. So we'll probably go do a trip there too. And that's what we're looking at for next year. I don't see a 3-month trip next year. Just for where we want to go and what we want to do. It's just not in the cards. The year after that, could be. We're looking at Canada, going across Canada. We're looking at going to Alaska. But we'll be more acclimated by then, and we'll know when we're gone over 3 months that things probably be better okay at home, like they were this time. So that answers that question. Yeah, we got a little tired. A little curious about the home too, if everything was okay. I did have to go to the chiropractor when I got back. I noticed that my back was a little sore after driving 15,000 miles, and he made a few adjustments, and man, that sure helped a lot. Other than that, we're fine. Okay, well, let me show you some upgrades that I've been working on since we got back. That's going to help us on the next trips, and we'll talk to you again. Bye. Okay, so the water upgrades I did was one, I put a new regulator on. The other one got corroded up after 3 months, and the water was coming out very slow. So So changing that out helped out a lot. I changed out the 100 micron filter here, and then I also changed out the hose. I had a 5/8 hose which worked just fine, but when I would put it away, because it was so big, it was hard to get into my storage box here. So by going to the 1/2 inch and 25 foot, which is more than I need anywhere I was at, it rolls up real good and fits into this box real easy. Then the other thing I did here, where the water, here's where the water comes in. So it's already filtered going into the camper. From that source there, it goes through my 2-stage water filter, and I'll show that to you here. I'll show you another picture of that. And then I got 3 valves here. I can back flush my black tank if I'm dumping at a site, shore water, and my holding tank. Okay, let me show you what the filters look like. Okay, on my water down here, where it comes in, it goes through my two-stage one-source water filter, then to this header, and I got 3 valves right here. They're back behind this black thing, but I can reach in here and get them real easy. I had to do it that way because it's just a little bit tight right there. But on this one right here, this is my holding tank. I connected a hose right there to this valve, and I ran it to the other side over here. Well, I had the camper off, I went underneath and ran the hose. So on this side here, here's my water fill, if I want to fill my holding tank. This right here is where my water pump is at. So the hose comes into here. I just take this hose out and I stick it right there. Okay? And then I do this just before we leave while I'm still hooked up to water. Now, okay? Now, if I open this up, looks like that, and I come back over to the other side, whoops, forgot to turn on the valve. There it is. Okay, so now we're filling up the tank. So I just let that fill until it overflows. That means my holding tank's full, 45 gallons. And I just come back over to here and turn it off, just like that. And then I just put my hose, take my hose out, let it all drain out. Shut that, lock that up, then round the hose up and put it there and shut the door. And I'm not running a hose all over the place filling up my water tank. Worked out pretty good that way. Well, I had the time. I popped the outside shower so I can get into my one source water filter system there and change the filters. Worked out real good. Here's the filters I took out. After 3 months, the first stage, man, it's brown. The new one I put in is just pure white. Second stage, these are 5 microns. This one here, it's a little dirty, but not so bad. So the filtering system is really working good. All right, let me show you another upgrade I did. So here's another upgrade I did. This is inside the camper. I built this little shelf here, and I mounted my
portable evaporative cooler here. It's just it's over the bed here. So when I'm boondocking, I can fill this thing up with cold water and just turn it on like that, and I can adjust it, and it blows air on us when I don't have no electric hookups. This thing has just worked great so far for us, and power's right there, so I just plug it in right there, DC power, and it really works great. This is only a spot cooler, you know, it's not like an air conditioner, it's just a cooler. So I open the hatches, open the windows, and this just blows cold air on us. Really pretty good. So from over here, that's what it looks like up there. When you're sleeping, you can just adjust it on you and got the cold air. Other upgrade I did, so over here in my pantry. So when we're driving, you know, you're shaking a lot and everything, and these shelves here, they're full of canned goods, you know. They get kind of heavy with all the weight on them, and you're shaking. Well, these shelves fell down and all the canned goods just piled up inside of there. So what I did, I added these pieces of about 1.5 inches by 3/8 piece of wood. I just double-sided taped them in there, put 4 of them in there in each corner of each shelf, and now the shelves are just solid, so I can bounce all I want and these shelves ain't gonna fall down. So that was another thing we did. And because so many times we open this thing up and all the stuff's falling all over the place. So a little flat piece of wood, double-sided, taped them up there real good, and that took care of that. And over here on this shelf here, I did the same thing here. In fact, they had it down here and it was too low. You could barely get a coffee cup in here. That shelf was so low, it was only about right there. So I raised the shelf up, and then I did the same thing, all 4 corners, and now that thing's solid. Little things you learn as you go. Here's something I'm going to be attacking here probably next week. This is for the stove right here, and it bowed out, came undone. So we got to figure out how to take that off and tape it up. So I'll be doing that next week, I'm sure. Okay. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.